Hey there, welcome to Off Duty. I'm Wendy Bounds. Well, they say that spring is not official until the opening day of baseball, and to celebrate, I'm playing a little bit of hooky from the Wall Street Journal office. We're in the MLB Fan Cave in Manhattan. I think that makes my cameraman happy, doesn't it, Jeff? It makes Jeff happy. Who better to tell us what the cave is all about than Tim Brosnan? He's Executive Vice President of Business for MLB. It is rowdy in here. What's going on?
That's what it's supposed to be. Well, what's going on at the center of the Fan Cave, and this is where it begins and ends, is we have our 9 cave dwellers who are going to sit and watch every Major League Baseball game on television.
Every single game.
Well, the ones who don't get eliminated, and that's the trick. Is last year we had 2 folks who watched every single game. This year we start with 9, and over the course of time the numbers will dwindle until there's 1 watching the World Series or parts of the postseason.
And they're blogging and Facebooking and tweeting. I mean, it's day 1. Hey guys, how rowdy are you? You guys pumped up for baseball? So when will the final person be chosen?
That actually is going to depend on the course of the summer. I would tell you by playoffs we'll be down to 2, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, let's take a tour of the rest of the place.
Okay, please.
Great.
Please.
All right, if I can't actually be at the game at Citi Field, I can take a little Citi Field with me. Now, the general public, how do they get to be a part of the cave?
Any of the music, any of the concerts we have are free to the public. Then we have partners that are doing contests where their contestants or guests are invited. And then starting this weekend, there'll be designated hours throughout the day where the public can tour just like they tour a Disney studio or an NBC studio or a Wall Street Journal studio.
And they can tweet with the cave dwellers, and they can actually get a piece of the field. Now, how does this work, Tim?
This is called Dirt Bar. And so if you come to the cave and you're smart enough to come over to Dirt Bar, any of the Major League clubs, actual dirt is here.
Now, in terms of, people don't pay anything to come here. It's all free to the public.
Everything's free to the public. Again, we had 2 concerts yesterday that are free to the public. We've got concerts all next week, free to the public. There's art hanging on the walls. We're going to have art shows for the public. Again, we want to draw the public in so that we become part of the public conversation every single day, every hour of every single day.
So how did you guys get here? Were you tweeting? Were you Facebook? What made you apply?
Non-stop tweeting, non-stop Facebooking. I did a little thing where I bought some window paint and started writing on people's cars. That gave me permission. So around town you would see little cars that say vote for Ashley, MLBFancave.com, stuff like that. So guerrilla marketing and social media.
From 22,000 down to you guys, 9 of you. And what about you? How did you get here?
Well, really, I applied kind of on a whim. I just finished my master's program, and I saw the application, and it looked fun filling it out. And so I just filled it out and made a rap video to try and get my friends' attention, try to get them to laugh. And lo and behold, it got the attention of some people at Major League Baseball. And then, you know, a lot of tweeting and a lot of Facebooking and a lot of favors and friends and family stepping up, and you know, I'm one of the 9 that's here. So.
All right, very cool. You're not allowed to root for any teams, are you?
I root for Commerce. I root for all 30 teams, and on a day like today, I'm lucky enough that most of the teams are still in first place. All
right, I'm going to go kick back with the Cave Dwellers. Thanks so much for being with us. As a flying car, our own. Now, my new friends, the Cave Dwellers here, they seem to pretty much have everything they need for spring. Are you guys good? Whoa! They're good. But if you're not, we have put together a list of 25 must-have items for spring. Melina Joseph has them, and she's bringing them to you right now. We're here with Melina Joseph, and she and our off-duty team at the Wall Street Journal have collected 25 items that are supposed to make our transition into spring a little easier, a little brighter. I'm trying with the pink.
You look much better than I do.
I'm dragging myself in there, but apparel-wise, you've also picked some bright things, like this tie for men. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, the thing with spring, it's especially here on the East Coast, it's a shorter season. So, you know, you want to kind of slowly introduce these really bright, fun options into your wardrobe.
Right.
With men, I think especially the best way to do that is kind of update your existing suit with a tie of like a brighter color. We love this one from Etro because it has like this slight little floral detail, and like these beautiful subtle like tangerine and blue colors, and they're great just with like your gray suit from the winter with a white shirt, and gives you a little bit more fun.
Because if guys are too nervous, I always have my guy friends are asking me, can I go this bright with my shirt? They're nervous about it. The tie is an easy way to sort of do that. Shoes too. I mean, this is not a terribly bright color, but you could try it with the shoes.
Exactly, and it's also like a really nice sneaker. I mean, this is our kind of grown-up Vans. We love this style for men because it's an easy, great way with a suit if you have a more casual work environment, or wonderful on the weekends with a khaki and like a striped sweater.
So you could wear these, but transition in and out of work. You wouldn't necessarily, if you're wearing a suit, you wouldn't wear it with a suit, but something a little more like a Google.
Exactly.
Depends on where you work, what you can wear.
Exactly.
Now this you would not wear to work over here. This is like the Betty Draper dress almost.
Well, we wanted to, spring is always a time of lots of socializing, and we wanted to really give you a great cocktail option. And for spring, designers are we're showing a lot of 60s silhouette, especially this Christopher Kane dress, which is a jewel in itself. It's all hand beaded in India and really incorporates a lot of this new color palette we've seen from spring from designers, which are a lot of pastels, which is kind of appropriate with Easter coming up this weekend. And it's a great color too, because it's soft and brings you into the warmer weather.
So they hand sewed all of those on there. I have to ask, what does something like that cost?
Well, this is a little bit more of a pricier item. We definitely always want you to dream a little bit, but this is a style that is definitely, you'll see a lot of different price points, but this dress in particular costs about $10,000.
$10,000, and I didn't ask you, so these are the sneakers and the tie. What's the range on these?
Well, the great thing with these are, they're quite affordable ways to update your wardrobe. This tie will run about $130, and these sneakers are $78 from this great California brand called Stevie's.
All right, so we've got the reality, we've got the dream, and we have the outdoors too, and the eating. Listen, you know what, before we get to outdoors, I gotta go with the eating. I'm digging these plates with the bugs on them. As long as the bugs stay on the plate and not in my food, we're good. But tell us about them.
Well, the minute that the warm weather starts to hit, all you want to do is go outside, and it's no better time than to have a picnic. And these plates from Anthropology are just fantastic.
And lightweight.
Yeah, I mean, they're plastic, they're durable. You can pack them in your backpack and not worry about them being precious, but they're fun and they're great to eat on. And they have these great bug and floral motifs, so it's really brings like the spring season onto your plate.
I love those. Even with the bugs on the plate, I can live with that. I love them. They're beautiful. And these are napkins, I assume, to go with everything?
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't want to do necessarily the outdoor dining just yet, it doesn't mean that you can't, as you would a tie to a suit, update your table with a really great, fun, summery print, like these ones from John Robeshaw, which are beautiful cotton, Indian cotton, which were inspired by Southeast Asian florals and prints.
So you don't have to go outside with the paper napkins. You can actually dress it up a little bit, which I think is what's nice.
I think so. I mean, there's a little bit more work that goes into it, but I think your guests really appreciate it when you have a cotton napkin. It gives you that kind of very elegant feel.
And if I'm outdoors, I have to put on the shades,
you have
right?
to.
Tell us about these.
Sun is shining.
I don't know if they're me or not.
These are our classic. I mean, they're great. The parasol looks great on everybody. And this is their new Capri style. So it's inspired by all wonderful things of that glamorous island in Italy. And these ones are these beautiful blue that kind of evoke the water that surrounds that fun little island.
How much are they roughly?
Those ones are about $310, but those are also great classic eyewear that you'll wear from season to season throughout the whole summer.
Now I would need a different type of glasses if I were going bird watching, but you have something for the birds here. The Birdhouse Bird Motel. Pretty swank.
Exactly. I mean, this is maybe the Ritz-Carlton of hotels for so, it attracts a little bit more than just a singular birdhouse. I mean, this is, meant to have lots of different birds come in with different sizes and entryways.
They need a bird concierge, they need bird room service. I guess that's up to us. If we hang it, we have to provide the room service for the birds.
Exactly.
About $118. You guys have a great mix of stuff. You have so much more in the off-duty section.
Yeah, this is just a tease.
In our paper and online this weekend. Yeah. Melina Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Let's be clear, baseball is probably more of a beer sport, and so is pool for that matter. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy a little Cabernet with your Cracker Jacks. Here's Letty Teague to show us how.
I think everyone wants to become a sommelier because probably the same reason everyone suddenly wanted to become a chef. You You have these glamorous sounding positions, and when you consider the things that sommeliers get to do, ostensibly taste wine all the livelong day and chat to people about it, it seems like a very seductive idea. The making of a great sommelier is actually a much more complicated thing. A great sommelier certainly has a palate, so has a deep understanding and appreciation and knowledge of wine. But given that the sommelier's primary job is to sell wine, they have to have a great personality. They have to be able to sell something. They have to be someone that you want to talk to. So you have to want to talk about wine, but not too much, because that's oppressive, to diners too. It's a really physically demanding job. It's someone that's going to be on their feet practically all the time, 12 hours a day. That's going to be moving cases of wine, and I think that's why you have sommeliers at their peak of their profession, almost like athletes, in their 20s and early 30s. You don't see a lot of old sommeliers in this country. So you have to have a great spirit, great knowledge, great physical capacity, and I think a tremendous degree of patience, because you're dealing with the public after all. A bad sommelier is someone that doesn't listen to the diner. A bad sommelier is someone that foists a wine on you that you do not want. The worst sommelier is someone that doesn't listen and then upsells you. If you say a price range, it's like, you can actually do much better if you spend another $70. So a bad sommelier is focused on making money and not making you happy, and I think that shows right away. I think a great sommelier can make you want to go back to a restaurant. I mean that, and a great sommelier is a great salesman. A great sommelier is someone that has a passion for wine and the ability to transmit it to someone, and that makes you want to taste that wine and have that experience. And a great sommelier is inspiring to me, and I think to anyone that dines in a restaurant.
Now the slide is pretty cool, but is it as cool as a car that has wings?
Our own Kelli Grant, she was at the New York Auto Show, and she found out just what it takes to own a car that can fly.
And I'm here with Richard Gersh, the Vice President of Business Development with Terrafugia, the very first flying car. So Richard, tell me, we've all wanted a flying car at one point or another. How soon can we actually buy one?
Actually, Kelli, the concept of flying cars is about 100 years old. This is the Terrafugia Transition. It's a street legal airplane, meaning you can keep your airplane at your house. We're currently taking deposits. We expect to be in production and delivering within the year. Our current backlog is about 3 years.
So if I want a flying car, I've got to wait 3 years. In the meantime, what should I be doing to prepare myself? What sort of licenses would I need to drive one?
This is actually a street legal automobile. So to drive it, it's quite simple. You need a driver's license. It drives like a standard car. It has a steering wheel, a gas pedal, a brake pedal, and all the safety equipment that you would find in any private passenger car like you would see here at the auto show. As an airplane, you need to be a pilot. There is a new certification standard for pilots known as a sport pilot. It was established by the FAA back in 2004. At the same time, they established a new category of airplanes known as light sport aircraft. The minimum number of training hours is 20. Typically, it's going to take a little longer than that, but with a couple of weeks of intensive training, you too could become a pilot, and that would qualify you to fly something like the Transition.
Okay, so it sounds like I've got some good time here. And now, what about the insurance angle? Obviously, I'm going to need something before I buy one of these.
Good question. We've known from early on that even if we made a commercially available flying car, if we couldn't insure it, it would be very difficult to sell it. Because we are a roadable aircraft, it certainly is going to have the functionality of both a car and an airplane, and therefore is going to require the insurance on both. We've been working with a number of insurance companies and the insurance departments in several states, at least on a preliminary basis, and we are very confident that we will have a program for our customers. Essentially, I call it a hybrid program. It's going to have the elements of both an aviation insurance policy and an auto liability policy. There isn't one policy that we're aware of that could actually cover both at the same time. So given that we are new in the marketplace, that regulations didn't contemplate flying cars when they were developed, that we'll have to develop something fairly special also with regards to the insurance program.
Now, it may not be Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but it wouldn't be Friday on Off Duty without our pop and rock critic, Jim Fusilli. He's got an interview with Of Montreal's Kevin Barnes. Stop!
Hey, for the Wall Street Journal, this is Jim Fusilli, and I'm here with Kelli Grant of the band of Montreal. Kevin, good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You have a brand new album, Paralytic Stalks. It's impossible to pigeonhole you guys. Is that a good thing, or?
Well, I mean, it's just a thing. Definitely, for me, I'm trying to experiment a lot and, you know, go off in different territories with each record and not follow any sort of formula. Just trying to make something that feels fresh and exciting at the time.
Do you write for projects? Do you write for albums, or do you write all the time?
Well, I tend to focus on projects, definitely. I mean, I'm writing, it's all just, you know, developing and then actually putting the thing together and then releasing the thing and then touring for it. And then while I'm touring for, you know, for a record, then I'll start thinking about ideas for the next record.
And when you're writing, are you writing from the space you're living in at the time, or are you thinking about past moments or historical figures or mass media, or I mean, or are you writing about your life?
For the most part, it's about my life, but there's definitely been some albums that I wrote maybe from a persona, or just sort of like creating characters and, you know, writing about them in a sort of fictional sort of sense, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, as of late, I've definitely focused more on my personal life.
I am feeling pretty pumped about baseball season. I hope you guys catch a bunch of games this weekend. That is it for Off Duty. I'm going to stick around here to play a little skee ball, do a little etch-a-sketch, maybe see if I can become a 10th dweller. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to stick around. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Oh, come on.